would, please silence the phones, the radios, and keep the side conversations down, and we'll get you guys briefed this morning. Real quick, in the IAP, you noticed a little thinner this morning. We took a lot of the components that are in the back. We made them digital IAP components, HR, training, camp maps, finance, COVID, etc. So you can scan that QR code, and the second bar down, you guys can click that and see the components that they produce. So with that, we're going to get started with the current situation from operations.
All right, good morning, everybody. Don Fragoglia, Night Ops. We had a short shift last night, and I'm happy to report that this fire continues to remain within its footprint, so I'm sure that's no surprise to anybody. But a good amount of rain on the fire last night, so we kind of cleaned everything off, made sure everybody was safe and not stuck on a dirt road. And so that is technically the end of night shift, though we will still have a night presence down here in the Forest Hill community for some days to come, calls for service, that kind of stuff. So on behalf of Team 5 and myself personally, for those of you guys that are rolling into day shift, night shift, I appreciate all the hard work last 13 days of night shift, and it was good, and we gained ground on this fire. So for me personally, thank you everybody very much for the hard work, and have a good shift out there today.
Weather.
Good morning, Incident Meteorologist Eric Kurth. Well, as you heard, there was some rain on the fire last night. Totals range from about a ½ inch at Forest Hill to an inch at Seed Orchard and Bald Mountain. So we got quite a bit of rain, especially after midnight last night, and we're getting some moderate rain through this morning. We could see amounts up to an additional inch today. And there's a potential for isolated thunderstorms this afternoon, so we could locally get higher amounts with that. So the flash flood watch that was to start tomorrow has been moved up. It starts now, and it will continue until midnight on Tuesday night. In addition to the flash flood watch, there's going to be danger with lightning, erratic winds, and with that brief heavy rain, of course, that could cause some debris flow and ash flow. The best potential for thunderstorms looks like this afternoon around 1,400 to 1,600. So just a heads up with that. And of course, roads are going to be really slick, so be very cautious driving around. In terms of other aspects, it's going to be very cool. Temperatures are going to stay in the 50s. Humidity is going to be saturated through today. And wind is going to be less of a factor. Yesterday it was quite windy. Today we're going to have lighter southeast winds. This morning 4 to 7, gusts to 12. And this afternoon out of the south at 5 to 10, gusting up to 15 over the ridges. The rain is going to continue overnight into tomorrow. It looks like a pretty steady rain through Tuesday morning. And then Tuesday afternoon we have potential for scattered thunderstorms and more potential with the debris flow and ash flow. So just be safe out there. Be careful.
Fire behavior.
Morning, Jonathan Pangburn. I got nothing. Just kidding. What I do want to remind you, though, is that the fuels yesterday, even though we were getting some sprinkles out there and some minor showers while the storm was first starting to come in, they were able to successfully get some firing operations to take place. So the fuels are dry enough. Even though we're getting quite a bit of rain, it's over a short amount of time. They will dry out, so please, the mop up. It's hard out there. It's going to be slick. It's going to be slippery while you're hiking around, but this is the time to get after it, right? We got a great blessing here to be able to take advantage of. We don't want this thing to be able to rear its head after this storm finally passes out on the Thursday through the weekend time period when it's finally going to warm up and dry out again. Thank you.
The 202, on your 202, the leader's intent, control, and management objectives remain unchanged. Please review those with your crew. Thank you.
All right, good morning. Spencer Andreas with your roll call for your line leadership for today. Day operations, Steve Burns. Here. Deputy operations, Nolan Hale. Here. Night operations, Don Fragoglia. Planning ops, Alex McBath. Here. Dave Soldavini. Here. Landon Hack. Here. And myself. Branch 3-5, Chris Baldoni. Here. Division Alpha Charlie Delta Foxtrot, Andy Gregerson. Here. And tonight you can scratch David Nelson, will be Pete Moffitt for night. Mill Staging, Colin McMahon. Branch 10, Gary Monday. Here. Tad Hare. Hotel, Jeb Prano. Here. Tony Ochapini, trainee. Juliet, Patrick Callahan. And Frank Tan will be a scratch. It'll be Jeremy Ellis. Kilo, Patrick Bell. With Burns, Brimhall. Okay, over in Placerville will be Branch 15, Steve Clark. Division Mike, Jimmy Hidalgo. With Dustin Karich. Division Romeo, Anthony Sagona. With Derek Chapman as trainee. Branch 2025, Chris Stevens. With Pete English. Charlie, Jack Sevelson. With Lee Helgeson. Golf, Nathan Osborne. With Rob Headland. Kilo, Yankee, Ryan Wagoner. With Randy Perry. All right, Suppression Repair Branch, Doris Van Goitsenhoven. Group 1, Quade Brenneman. Group 2, Jerry Sharp. Group 3, Geronimo Zuniga. With Van Deocariza. And Rhodes Group, James McDaniel. All right, we'll go ahead and turn it over to day ops with work assignment priorities.
Hey, good morning. Steve Burns, day operations. So for today's day operations, continue repopulation on the west side. Power lines will be energized, so be careful in there. And then watch out for any of the flooding that might occur, and continue to patrol and mop up that. Coming around the top on the east side, we're going to continue with the strategy of both direct and parallel, indirect on the east side. Has been working out really well, tying in all these drainages where we can with the dozers and the hand crews and the engines. That's working really well. Continue with that project. Going to start another project down the bottom where we're going to come along Fire's Edge and get as close as we can to the Rubicon drainage. We're also prepping our indirect piece for the eventuality when it does dry out. If it dries out, that we'll be ready for that, and that prep is going on really well. So continue the good work there. Have a good day.
Real quick, for all the divisions on page 51, please take a look at that. The cost apportionment is a phone number. We're going to need you guys to call for some information for finance. All right, air operations.
Thank you. Ira Graves, Air Operations. I thought we were going to have a break yesterday. We didn't. We flew about 70,000 gallons of water with the helicopters. So we still have a good fleet of helicopters and the scoopers available for you guys if you need more water today. I'd like to say thanks to all of our air resources out there. This has been a fairly complex incident with air, with a lot of drone activity. Night activity up here is not always the norm for us, and a heavy load of helicopters. So it's been a very safe operation up here, and I just want to say thanks. Great communication for the folks on the ground and in the air. Have a good day.
For communications, there's no change. Please see your 205 for any questions on that. Moving non-medical.
Good morning, Robert Russell, Team 5 Medical. So if you look at your safety plan, one of the things that it leads off with is make sure that all hazards are identified and made known. So our fire environment is changing a little bit out there. So our road systems, the resources that we're going to utilize in the event that we have a line emergency are still there, but the ability to get them in may be a little bit different. We have a little bit of weather. We sometimes rely on our hoist extraction helicopters as part of our planning, but they're visual flight rules, so they have to have good visibility to get in. So if they get pretty good cloud deck in here and what have you, and they get into meteorological conditions where they're requiring instruments, we can't rely on that resource. So when you get out there, take the opportunity to identify your resources, make those resources known to all the folks working on your division. Think about how you're going to implement that plan. Continue to validate that plan throughout the day as conditions continue to change, and report that information out using the 8 line as found in both your IRPG and on the back of the IAP. That said, we continue to have the CalMat team here at the camp to support your medical needs. We've got frontline both down at El Dorado and up at the Sugar Pine Spike Camp. Have a safe day.
Safety.
Good morning, Dave Welch, Team 5 Safety. Well, let's start out with your safety record. Stellar. Awesome. If you look at the amount of people that we have on this incident, the amount of work that it's being done, and the conditions that it's being done in, awesome safety record. Thank you, and that's all your work. Let's start with getting to the fire. In-town roads, oil's coming up on the first rain. It's slick. If your tires haven't broken loose on you yet coming around a corner, they're going to. So, when you're in-town driving, pavement driving, be aware of that. Slow down and watch your speeds. Increased public traffic. So we're opening some areas up, and there's going to be more of the public. Expect when you're following the public for them to suddenly brake if they see a photo opportunity or they need to look at something. They've had a rough time. They've been away from home. They're getting back, and there may be some unpredictability there. Power's back on in a lot of areas. Treat all wires as live no matter where you are. Flash floods. IMET will be monitoring the radar all day long for flash floods and lightning. So if we get some cells that look like they're going to come in and affect you, we'll notify you on the radio. Lightning safety, please refer to your IRPG, what to do if lightning comes our way. And finally, COVID. Please be aware of it and keep your distances when possible. Hygiene. Thank you. Have a good shift.
COVID advisor.
Good morning, Jessica McMullen, COVID advisor. Just wanted to remind you of the testing options that are available. If you're feeling unwell and you suspect COVID, we have CalMat here at ICP, and then the 2 frontline trailers that were mentioned earlier, Sugar Pine and El Dorado. If you have come in contact with COVID but are not symptomatic and you have suspicion of exposure, both the frontline trailers are able to test you for those purposes as well. And finally, us COVID advisors here at the Roeblen Building in ICP, and then Rex and Melissa have a COVID trailer at El Dorado. We have peace of mind tests for you to take. They're the self-test kits if you want to take a test before going home to your families. So just come see one of us if you want one of those tests. Thank you. Stay healthy.
Thank you. Closing comments. Unified Incident Commander Carlton Joseph.
Good morning, everybody. Change of weather, that equals a change. And so I want you to please be patient today, as you might find yourself in staging. You might find yourself in demo. But the thing to understand is we have a tremendous amount of people spread out across this incident, and the team needs to respond. We've got plans in place, but to facilitate demob and this change in plans is going to take some time. So again, I just ask if you're finding yourself not on today's plan to give us that patience. Appreciate that. With the weather today, for those in the field, I'd ask you to pay attention to the radar, if you will. Also, any special weather instructions. Be ready to respond to that quickly. Safety-wise, we've had 2 reportables on this incident. That's excellent. You guys have been doing great. Keep that up. No reason to change that. I think pay attention again. You got your head on a swivel. Be ready to respond, and we'll be good. The message from me as far as what you've done to this date is thank you. On behalf of the Unified ICs, your work is appreciated. With that, work hard, be safe, take care of each other, and have a good day. Thank you.
All right, if you don't find yourself on the plan, you're either in stage, well, if you find yourself on the plan of staging, we're going to meet back here over where the ambulance is. Big old area in the grass, that's where staging is going to be. If you can't find yourself on the plan, there's a demob list posted on the building there and also in the building to the right of you guys. Please take a look at that before you come up here and say that you're unassigned. And with that, you guys can get to your breakouts. And again, we'll see you guys here in the morning, and turn your radios and phones back up. Thank you.